Chapter 1087. However, Shepard called out to him, "Please wait, sir." Wilbur turned around and noticed that Shepard had gone on his knees. Shepard said in a humble tone, "I feel inspired to have met you today, sir. If you don't mind, I'm willing to follow you and serve you." He was invincible in Manant for far too long. However, he had to leave Manant for some reason. The battle made him realize that cooping in the mountains would not help him improve. The only way that he could improve was to follow a truly powerful cultivator. Therefore, he decided not to be bound in the mountains. He was prepared to venture out and see the real world. Wilbur convinced him with his capabilities. He knew that Wilbur's Skyfall attack was not at its most powerful because Wilbur held back at the final moment. Otherwise, Shepard would have been obliterated. Regardless, he was still badly injured. He remained conscious only because he was powerful enough. The battle made him want to worship Wilbur. He was willing to become his follower. Wilbur looked at Shepard, who was kneeling on the ground, then smiled and said, "I also admired you, but I have business to attend to at the moment. I'll consider it after I'm done with that business." Then he turned and left, vanishing in the blink of an eye. Shepard stood up slowly. Blood was dripping from the corner of his mouth. He was in a sorry state. He finally got to meet an expert like Wilbur, and he wanted to follow him. However, all he received was a vague reply. It made him anxious. Shepard felt guilty that he missed a chance to befriend the expert. He sat up while facing the mountains with an anxious heart, healing himself as he recalled the battle. As he analyzed the battle, he grew more and more anxious over time. Wilbur had amazing combat skills. He could not believe that the blade skills he spent decades mastering did not provide him with any advantage at all. He thought about it and realized there were a few times he almost died. However, the attacks missed. Wilbur would miss at those crucial moments. He could not think that during the battle. However, given the time to think about the situation, he realized that Wilbur had clearly missed on purpose. Moreover, the Skyfall attack destroyed his domain. Wilbur could have killed him then and there, but he stopped in time and only injured Shepard. Everything made it obvious to him that Wilbur was holding back. Shepard sweated hard when he thought about that. Wilbur was more powerful than he appeared. Shepard wondered how powerful Wilbur truly was, and he felt like an ignorant fool. His gaze gradually became determined. He had to become his follower at all costs. Staying near an expert was the only way he could improve. Wilbur was back at the industrial park. He snuck back to his room and put on the ankle cuffs, then lay on his bed and started to ponder. There was no news on Venematter, but he was probably hiding in the Muahood. Venematter had to consider the consequences because he stole a national treasure, so he probably had to lay low for a while. Wilbur could only search for clues slowly as he did not want to alert the thief and let him escape once again. That would only make finding him all the more difficult. Chuck burst into the room in the morning with a small team of armed guards. Wilbur turned to look at Chuck. Chuck said coldly, "Get up." "What is it? Do I have to do morning patrol too?" Wilbur stretched and sat up straight. Chuck replied coldly, "Something happened to your cousin, Sophie Horley. Our employer wants to see you." The armed guards pointed their guns at Wilbur when Chuck spoke.